everybody, this week we will be looking at shape, and we're going to start by looking at 2D shapes, and later in the week we'll look at 3D shapes. And now the difference between a 2D shape and a 3D shape. A 3D shape is something that you can pick up, okay? So my pen is a 3D shape, okay? My whiteboard is a 3D shape because I can pick it up. It has lots of different surfaces. We can talk about 3D shapes more later in the week. The shape I've drawn on my board is a 2D shape because I cannot pick that up, okay? So that briefly, that's the difference between 2D and 3D, but we're going to talk more about 3D shapes later in the week. Okay, so what we're going to look at today is how we can identify the features of 2D shapes. And what that means is the way that we can tell what shape is what. So how do we know that this shape is a triangle? How do we know that this shape is a square? Because we understand what the features are. So we're going to begin by looking at this shape. Okay. Now, some of you might know what it's called. Can anyone tell me what the shape is called? Are we listening? That's right. It's called a square. So, how do we know it's a square? Well, what we're going to look at is two different features. We're going to look at the sides, and we're going to look at the vertices. Now, that's a new word that a lot of you might not have heard before, the vertices. Now, vertices is really just another word for corner, but it's our mathematical language. That's why we use the word vertices. Okay, so if we look at this shape, I'm going to take my whiteboard pen and I'm going to first of all count. Oops, my lid's trying to run away. I'm going to first of all count the number of sides that I have. So I'm going to write a number next to each side so I can keep count. So I've got 1, 2, 3, hard to write at this angle, and 4. So I now know that a square has 4 sides. So I can write that in a sentence, like so. Now we're going to count the vertices, or the corners. Now, we can count together. We've got 1, I'm going to write that down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I know that a square has 4 vertices. So those are two of the main features of a square, that it has 4 sides and it has 4 vertices. But there's something very important about a square. Can you think of a shape that's similar to a square, but not quite the same? I'm thinking of a rectangle. Now, if I draw a very quick rectangle on here, it has 2 long sides and it has 2 short sides. But can you look at the square and see that all 4 sides on the square are the same? They are equal. So I'm going to change my first sentence. Instead of saying a square has 4 sides, it's going to say a square has 4 equal sides. I'll change that now. Then, there you go. We now know, if you saw these sentences, you could tell me what shape we were talking about. If I said to you, my shape has 4 equal sides, it has 4 vertices, which shape do you think it would be? A square. Because we have identified the features of a square. We've counted the number of sides and we've counted the number of vertices. Right, so we're going to have a go at another one before you go off and have a go on your own. I've got another shape on my whiteboard. Who thinks they can tell me what this shape is called? I'm sure you all know. Shout it out for me nice and loud. That's right, it is a triangle. Now, how do we know it's a triangle? Well, we can count the sides and the vertices. That's right. So we're going to start by counting the sides. And we've got 1, 2, 3 sides. I'm going to write those down on my whiteboard now. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 sides. I can write my sentence. I'm going to write, a triangle has 3 sides. There we go. And now we're going to count the, remember that new word we've learned? Vertices. That's right, we're going to count the vertices. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I can label that as well. I'm going to label my vertices first. And now I'm going to write my sentence underneath. I'm going to state that a triangle has 3 vertices. Okay, so we've identified the features of a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides and a triangle has 3 vertices. So you've seen 2 different shapes there, 2 shapes that you probably know quite well, but now you can explain how you know what shape they are. All right, so now you're going to have a go on your own. Have a go at the sheet in your maths folder and see if you can identify the features of the shapes there, and I would like you to write 2 sentences for each shape. Tell me how many sides they have, and tell me how many vertices they have. Okay? Good luck!